Setting up. Okay, now it's working. Yeah, I guess it didn't like the length of the title. Don't grab my arm while I'm doing this, silly boy.
There we are.
Kind of, sort of. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that is brilliant. Well, I'm still gonna have to look at my watch for my notes because the people at Zoom weren't smart enough to make it so that it splits the screen on your side so you can see them. If you're in spotlight form, it takes up the whole screen when you look at your notes.
Ah, the wonders of modern technology.
Yeah, I'm trying it again just to see it. Oh, no, this time it worked. Okay. Hey, you. Want to eat me? This diesel
What a
want to
cute
have a
face.
little munch.
Such a cute face.
Mm.
What a good buddy.
Mm. I think
You want to
I
be?
spotted a Jasmine in her timeout cage.
Yeah, she's
No,
gone into the
the
cage
usual
again.
spot.
Silly girl.
It's her snoozing cage.
Mm. The viewers will get a funny impression by her. She can be different, especially when the camera is off.
Oh, she runs around like a crazy person when the camera's off.
Or at least when we are not in a live stream. So when we have a meeting at an unusual time or so, the birds are sometimes quite busy.
You bored over there? Oh, I'm sleeping.
But as long as
Hey,
the credit
KK.
fund people are there, mm, is that KK.
It's KK Bird.
Mhm.
What's KK?
And is
Oh,
Mander art today?
who? Never heard of him. I almost brought Bob out, but when he came out, that was the end of that because I can't. If he starts getting nervous and Bob starts getting, I can do it when we're not on screen, but I feel much better about throwing the phone down and running when I'm not doing a live. It will go from a live stream to a live stream.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shuggy.
It seems that with him, that the solution now is to get him out for about a half an hour, and then early on, and then later on do it a half an hour. But if he stays much longer than that, that's when he starts getting territorial. I've timed it. He starts his territorial behavior usually after about 45 minutes. So then just take him out a half hour here and a half hour there, and it works. Or out in the aviary, which we won't be doing that. It's already getting into the 90s. So we're looking at
Mm.
30 degrees today, so Celsius.
Wow.
So yeah, we're heading into our summer. We just have two seasons here. It's dry and wet is no more than 5 inches in the whole in the whole wet period. Everybody else calls those summer and winter, but no spring. So I
I
don't see
thought now
anything.
comes hot and boiling. You
No, it's not that hot actually, this is a great place to be in the winter
mm.
because it doesn't get that cold. You stay warm, but you don't really overheat. But once we hit the middle of spring, it's hitting the 90s, then we're going to go into the 35s, 40s in that range. It
Mhm.
drives out the newcomers. Oh, I can handle this place. And then the one summer, where can we move?
You definitely have a great panorama from where you are now. Huge mountains in the close distance.
Yeah, I like it. I don't like it when it rains here though, because you have to put on special covers over your shoes, otherwise you sink into the ground and you have to take your days to clean your shoes. And the thorns off the weeds are a pain in the rear. Come here, sweetheart. Come, come. What's the matter? What's the matter? Come on. Come on, boy. Come on.
Well,
What are
at
you
least
doing?
your house cannot swim away.
Well, it could if you actually got like two inches of rain, that would probably do us in. If that happened in one day, I don't think we'd survive. I don't think these homes around here are built for that kind of rain. It doesn't happen, or at least it hasn't, but it could. What are you doing? Come here. Come on. Come up and see me. Come up and see me.
So we have a
What are
super
you?
quiet chat today, obviously, or it's just not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's just me and you.
Well,
So
it's technically
hello and
technically
welcome to all of our viewers. If you like, you can always ask questions in chat or tell us about your birds.
Or
We are
just talk
happy to
about
hear
your
from
day.
you.
We don't mind.
Mhm.
well, it's technically a holiday, which means the last
Oh,
word.
yeah, that's true. I read about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it ends in the word sale. All holidays end in the word sale here, so it's the Memorial Day sale. I
Right,
always
okay.
Wait, is the sale tomorrow or today?
the sale. Yeah, they always have the sales on the day of the holiday, except for Christmas. Then they do it like before or after.
Mm.
I get pissed off when somebody sends me a text from a company and trying to push a sale for Memorial Day. Excuse me, it has nothing to do with sales to me on Memorial Day.
So it seems we have some brave chatters. So there's Rosebud Atkins and Falcon Sue. So hello, you guys. Good to see you.
Hi,
Hello.
Falcon Sue. Hi, Rosebud. Glad to see you got on, Rosebud. Tried to send you a text earlier, and I got it just wouldn't even try to send it to you. It kept going, no, no, won't go. Someone's having internet problems, right? Right, Mander? Mander, salamander.
He's such a cute, fluffy guy. So did he get the chance to cuddle you yesterday after
Oh,
Eleanor and I left?
yeah, he did. He spent some time cuddling. Then he went and chewed cardboard. That's his favorite thing to do. He likes pine cones, but 100 pine cones is $127, so he doesn't get pine cones all the time. We've had some gifted to us. He goes through them fast, though. You give him five pine cones, you can time it. That means 5 minutes. All of them will be gone. It's about a minute per pine cone. And when I mean gone, they're just dust. Amazing how fast he tears up the pine cones. But what are you doing? Oh, Cecil. You're not feeling good today, too. It's snapping at me.
So
What's
Rosebud
wrong?
says that her internet is touch and go at the moment.
Well, some of these internet companies, I mean, we don't get the greatest here. We're supposed to get uh, 40 meg down and 10 up, and we get the 10 up, but we're lucky to get 30 down. Not that I need that much. I don't really. And I can't do large videos. This is the only way I can do a long video is streaming it because we don't have the bandwidth to do it in the other way. They're hoping by the end of next year to have everybody wired in, but we'll see. Oh, there goes Amanda. He's on a breeding fest. You okay, Cecil? Yeah, this mating season is hitting him hard this year. Are you okay? Are you okay? You want a ball? Would you like a ball?
So Rosebud says she will be sending more pine cones soon. So I think all birds are super happy about that, and we are grateful.
Oh yeah. Oh, especially Mander. He dies when he sees a pine cone. Yay! Cardboard's okay. He'll chew on cardboard, but he much prefers the pine cones. They have lots of variety to tear apart. Even breaks apart the little petals on the cone. It's insane.
That's
Just turns
funny.
it to yeah. There's nothing left when he gets done. It goes straight. Whatever's left goes straight through the bars of the cage. But I guess we can get started on the topic. I think. Oh, yes, strange phone. I just had the topic up so I could go from my notes and it decides to close on its own. There we go. Come on. So it's solving the mystery of parrot behavior without magic fairy dust. I mean, there's a lot of bad ideas about how to work with behavior out there. Not as bad as they were, well, maybe some of them still are, but back 30 years ago, people were saying, I gave the command to the dog and the dog sat. Well, we don't command anymore. We cue. We give them a cue, something they can look at, like you would see on the stage, right? Where they, all right, ready, set, go. Kind of, it's a cue. They have the little cue cards they use when they're making movies and television. So it's basically the same thing. Um, But there is no magic fairy dust to change behavior. And you'll hear people talk about, oh, I gave them this homeopathic medicine, and which homeopathy is not medicine, but I gave them this, and so much calmer. Yeah, yeah. And what behavior did you change when you started giving the medicine? Because that's usually what causes the change, right? Your behavior, your expectations, your behavior changes. So. That brings up a good question, though. What is behavior? It is whatever a living thing does. Here's a behavior: a sleeping sugar bird. Did I say sugar bird? I did.
Mm.
There's that hopeful look. Is he going to put a hand up here to pet my feet?
Mm.
So behavior is whatever a living thing does. So whatever. Not that well, it's complicated in that no one truly understands everything that motivates behavior. We know the basics, though. So, but no one truly understands what motivates it. I think the crow in the Game of Thrones might say, "No, no, you understand behavior? No, no." But what we use, what I'm going to talk about today is one of those subjects nobody wants to hear because of the big fancy words, but the there's a phrase that's a watch phrase of applied behavior analysis. Okay, it's called behavior is a function of its consequences. There are easier ways to say that. If I were talking to a high school student, I would probably say behavior happens because of what comes after. Basically means the same thing. Or if I was talking to someone in grammar school, I would say behavior happens because of what comes next. So when you have a bird that's nipping at you, whatever behavior, whatever normally comes next after the bird nips at you, is the consequence the bird is going for. So If the bird's afraid of you, it might be to get you to walk away if that's what you do. If they nip at you and you put them in their cage, well, that's probably what they want. So when the behavior, well, it's like you go to work and you work, right? And you get that paycheck. You stop getting the paycheck, you're going to stop working. There's some people who might just be like in the movie Office Space, like Milton, still sitting there, even though you're technically not employed anymore. But that's pretty rare, right? Right? Hmm? Would you like a red stapler? You can't have it. No, that stays on my desk.
No staplers for birdies. Think of the damage they could do.
Yeah, he would take it apart and have to take the staples out of it. I don't think there's anything that could hurt him if I took the staples out of it. But I like my Office Space stapler. I have a swing line, the same color. Right, Cecil? See, this whole thing reopens his beak like that. Started when his top part of his now, you calm down. When the top part of his beak started getting too long, and then we hit mating season, you want to calm down here. A DRI, if anyone remembers that. Differential reinforcement of an incompatible behavior. Can't hold on to the ball and nip. He's just out of sorts, poor little boy. Right there. So behavior happens because of what comes next. That's a good way to break it down. And these guys are so intelligent that you can do one little thing that they decide they want the consequence. You don't realize you've done it. The next thing you know, you have someone biting your ear. Who was that? See, that was a mistake. I didn't catch this behavior early on, and that was a problem. So I'm still working with his mating season aggression now. He's just not happy. He wants to mate. He sits on his toys and he's a mess. But if you keep petting him and keep talking to him, he'll calm down eventually. But so their behaviors are complex, and you do little things, and all of a sudden you have different behaviors, and you think, well, all out of the blue, the bird started doing this. No. If, for example, if you're working a job and somebody comes up and bugs you about some little thing, you're not putting a cover letter on your TPS report. First time it might bother you a little bit, and you kind of move stuff around on your desk and you squirming. If it keeps happening, eventually, maybe I'll look for another job. I'm kind of tired of hearing this. So you're starting to get these behaviors with just a little bit of change. But with these guys, it can be just a tiny thing causing it. So our big fancy name of functional assessment, or function, actually, when you're trying to figure out what's going on with a bird, we call that functional assessment. When you've got it and whatever you've figured out works, it allows you to make changes that you want, then you call that a functional analysis. So big fancy words. Basically, the assessment means I'm trying to figure out why they're doing it, what their consequence they're looking for. And the other case, okay, I found the consequence. Now, how do I alter it? So functional analysis goes way back to B.F. Skinner, and the whole idea of looking at behavior and determining what the individual is trying to get from the behavior. When a mosquito lands on your arm, you kind of know what the function of that behavior is, right? Just because you think you know what the function of something is doesn't mean you know it. Good example is a wood chipper. You use a wood chipper to chip wood. right? You throw branches in there and it turns it into wood chips. These guys do good at wood chips too, don't you? I know all
You
about
don't
the
need
wood
a wood
chips.
chipper when you have a cockatoo.
Yeah, but if you've watched the movie Fargo, then you know a wood chipper can have other uses as well. Yeah, Steve Buscemi would probably agree with that. The actor involved with that, but so you have to observe. You can't just assume. Well, this is mating behavior. I mean, scratching and digging and chewing wood. Hey, you! He just whacked me with his beak. You who? He desperately wants attention. Okay. Now that behavior, I have seen him trying to get attention from me. So when I say he wants attention, he definitely does. But what are you doing here? Let me sit up a little bit because it's hard to keep you on my lap that way. Silly bird. You're being Mr. Silly Bird? Hmm? Don't eat my arm. Let's not eat the arm. So what happened is that over time they figured out ways to determine what the bird or whatever animal is trying to get from its behavior. That became the tools that we use to analyze that behavior and figure out what they're driving for. Once we know what they want, what they're trying to get, the consequences they want, then we can modify, we can change the situation so they can get those consequences other ways. Right now, he definitely wants to chew on something. So giving him something to chew on and keeping him chewing on it, which is why I'm shaking it. I am stimulating him a little bit with that. And I'm keeping the toy in his beak so he calms down. He actually doesn't want me chatting and doing this. What he wants me to do is pet him, keep keep him close. That's what he's shooting for. Now he's gonna play with AK, so he'll divert that attention elsewhere. Right, big boy? So they can be seeking attention, which is he's getting it now. They can escape an uncomfortable situation. They're fulfilling some particular need for stimulation, whatever it might be. You see that in stereotypic. Here we go. Stereotypic behavior. You see a bird that grabs the bars and just they slide all the way down one end and slide all the way back, slide all the way down. They just keep going back and forth, back and forth. That's a type of neuropathy. That's actually um, a neurosis or can be psychosis, but a neurosis based on lack of stimulation. So they're trying to seek their own stimulation. Unlike Jasmine, who's not seeking any stimulation right now, she just won't leave me alone. I'm sleeping. Don't even say my name.
Oh, Jasmine, sweet girl. So I think we
Jasmine?
have a couple of other chatters we should greet. So let's start with the first. So we have Jocelyn Triggle here. She told us that she has to go to the vet with Cinnamon since he has some runny poop. Then Jam and Jamie was the next who's coming in. So hello, Jam and Jamie, good to see you. And then Lisa Banerjee joined us. So hello, everybody. Oh yeah, and then the last one who come in was Giselle, plant-based vegan. So hello to you.
Hello, everybody.
And keep in mind, guys, if you're on Patreon, which you don't have to pay to be on, or if you're on Telegram, you can send us a picture of a problem like if your bird has unusual poop, you can send a picture to me and I will analyze it and I'm not a veterinarian. I will give you what I know, and you still have to see a vet if there's any consistent problem. But at least I can tell you if I see something. Like you send me a picture that looks like a bird's got their liver is failing, I'm going to tell you to go straight to the vet, not wait any time, go to the emergency, get an emergency appointment, that kind of.
Basically,
But
let's stare together on the poop.
yeah, you can do this on Discord too. So we're on Discord, we're on Telegram, we're on Patreon.
Yeah, I was posting already the Discord link because I think I've never mentioned that in chat. So thanks for mentioning it, Dawn. Yeah, we are on Discord. It's just very small at the moment, but as soon as people start to join, we can open more chats and groups. So that is basically a topic like, yeah, look, bird poop analysis.
Poopology. We just simply call that poopology. There was a vet years ago who called it that, and now it's stuck. You have to really you got to analyze poop. But yeah, we're on those platforms. I have a particular hate for Facebook, and anything that has to do with Meta. I don't like the way they censor things and control things. And even if we had, I think about 10,000 followers. You having fun with that? I'll let you play with it today, okay? He's always stealing that from me. But that's all right. Go ahead and play with it if it makes you feel better. But Sam Harris, he left Facebook and Instagram, which are connected together. He left them for that reason. He said, I've got all these followers, but they make me pay to contact them. He said, they're my followers, not Facebook. So he just left. And that's why we left. But we don't have that problem on Telegram or Patreon or Discord. So, any one of those platforms are all. If you want to send pictures, though, you're going to have to do that on Discord or Telegram. And I know most people haven't heard of Telegram because they don't advertise, but that's because they're not government controlled. So you can go on there. And the only thing about any of these platforms is if you get an unsolicited direct message, I will occasionally direct message someone, but you'll know it's me. Believe me, you'll know. On Telegram, I'll usually send you a little parrot with a hat or something that's animated, something along that line. But anyway, the first thing you have to do is define the behavior. So I'm gonna have to buy a new one of those when you get done. All right, go ahead if that's what you want to do. Don't get all hissy. Go on, play with it. And I can do the reverse thing. Just hand it to him. Like here.
Sometimes he won't want it if you hand it to him.
Usually he doesn't want it if you hand it to him. But boy, he's been wanting that for a long time, so he's starting off with it. Silly bird. Cecil, you're a nut. You're a nut.
He's such a cutie. What is he doing? Sitting on a toy again? Hopefully not.
No, he wants to tear that apart because I keep it away from him.
That's your I see. That's your toy. The only toy which is Cecil's toy. We talked about it yesterday.
I've got another one that's used for filming, which is it's a big brace that goes around the entire phone, which I'll probably use if he really wants to keep that. I mean, it's pretty strong, but knowing him, he'll have it apart. But today he probably needs it, so he needs it more than I do. The other part he's not going to break. It's the metal part that'll stay. Yeah, I'll just take that off there, but he'll break the handle, even though it's tough. Those U-leads are pretty good. But the first step is to define the behavior. Now, that doesn't mean most people, when they define a behavior, when they haven't taken any classes in ABA, are going to say, my My parrot is aggressive, right? Okay, that tells me a whole heck of a lot. That's like saying your child is acting out in school. Fine. Can you define that a little further? Okay, and then you could say, well, my parrot lunges at me when I approach the cage. Well, are you going to beat me with that thing now? Jeez, I don't know about you, Cecil. So that's a little better. Okay, but there are other things. A better one would be my parrot lunges at me when I approach the cage, just after I come home at night, after I've showered, changed my clothes, and watched the news. Okay, now you have a better idea of when the bird lunges. Okay, those are all the things that came before the lunge. Now, it might be the way you hold your hand out. You know, he's going to react differently to me doing this, to me doing that. You won't be happy until you've broken that, will you? You won't be happy until you've broken. So the first step is to clearly define the behavior. Now I get people will say, well, my bird started biting. Okay, that doesn't tell me anything. My bird has started biting again, after I came home or just before we go to, I go to bed and put the bird to bed. That tells me a little bit just before maybe the bird doesn't want to go down. But again, we have to get a little further into it to know. But the more information you have, that's defining the issue. Okay, you got to define it first. In order to do that, you need to start, a journal or collecting information. If you can remember things in your head, that's okay, but better to write it down because when you think about it 3 days later, there might be something that you missed. Your memory might not actually have it, so write it down. Are you having fun? Is it broken yet? No, not yet. Yep, I heard a crunch that time. You just won't be happy until that's all torn apart, will you? I saw a piece of it go flying. Here. Oh, I got myself a bird. Got myself a bird.
Mhm. Dangling Cecil. They are so flexible.
So amassing some data, creating a journal, that is critical to understanding behavior. It's much easier to understand how a nuclear reactor works than it is to understand behavior. I mean, when it comes to something like physics, you can define the problem and usually solve it. But when it comes to behavior, there's just too many unknowns. Now you're trying to destroy that too, huh? You know what? You silly. Well, you can break the top of that off, I'm sure. I got it. I got
Was
it.
that a slight diss on the physicist in the chat room?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Well, when you have pure mathematics, you can solve things. But with these guys, you can't. You can't. Behavior can't be quantified that way. So we work at just for what we can see, and we try not to assume what's going on inside the brain because we really don't understand how brains work. Oh, we know some things, but we can't predict behavior beyond more than a few milliseconds with our best technology. But with the tools of ABA, you can, to some degree, predict behavior because you understand that it follows from the consequences. If you go to a small grocery store around the corner and you go up to pay the bill and they punch you in the nose, you probably won't go back. But if you go back a second time and they do it to you again, then, it's like kind of that way.
Sorry, I will be AFK for a moment.
No problemo. So the
Sorry,
example is, go ahead.
Sorry, John, I was just about to ask a quick question. Because there is a question from Giselle, who says, I still don't know what my cockatoo is telling me. When his feathers around his beak are all pushed forward, he does look relaxed.
That is exactly what that usually means. When you cover up the beak, it's a non-threatening behavior. Calm, relaxed is usually the case. There may be some birds that. What have you done to this thing? You managed to tear off a little piece. Yeah, I'm going to hide it from you for now. Here we go. See how you behave. Did you get that out of your system? Yeah. When I see a bird cover their beak that way, it's usually in a situation, the behaviors I've seen are calm behaviors.
Relaxed and sleepy.
Yep. The opposite if the feathers on the back of the neck go up. See, with Cecil, he nips at me right now because of the mating season, but you don't see the feather that's on the back of his neck go up, which means he's not actually aggressive in a standard sense of the word. He's just frustrated. He wants a mate. He wants to live his life as a real bird, but he can't do it. There's no way to give him that. So you keep a journal and you're going to look at what we call antecedents or triggers, but there's basically what they are is just things in the environment that stimulate something. So if I put my hand at him fast, you can see what that does. Now his beak opens, right? Now let's try it slow. It doesn't open. So there are things in the environment that are leading to the behavior we're seeing. If he was out in the aviary, which we can't do in the heat, he wouldn't be reacting this way. So that's environmental. He's in an environment where he isn't as comfortable. Right, Cecil? I know, poor boy. You gonna go over and play now? Be nice. They usually get along, but with the way Cecil's been acting, I have to keep an eye on these two. An example of, let's say, if you have a parrot that screams when you leave it alone, the antecedent or the cause, okay, it's what comes before that leads to the behavior, right? So it might be just you leaving the room. And the consequence may be that you come back to check on the bird. So if you leave the room, the bird screams, you come back in, well, maybe that's what the bird is driving for. That's the consequence it wants. So by simply coming back into the room, you are reinforcing a behavior you don't want. If you wait until they stop screaming and then come back in the room, now you're reinforcing a behavior you prefer, which is quiet. Or if the bird starts saying hello, hello, and you come back in, you're going to get that instead of the screaming. So, but keeping notes and then looking back saying, well, it happens every time I leave the room. There you go. Now you're on the path to understanding. It's when I leave the room. Or if you sit, there was one person I knew she would sit down to use the computer, and when she started typing, the Amazon she had would come over and start nipping at her. Well, eventually she figured out, after watching videos, because she set up a camera, she figured out that the bird was nipping at her because it wanted the attention, and all the attention was going to the keyboard and the screen. So the solution there was to sit with the bird before and after using the computer, and that calmed the bird down. So she was allowed a certain amount of time. I can't remember what it was, but she got enough time to do whatever she needed with the bird not nipping at her. bird wanted attention. That was the functional assessment that turned into an analysis. She assessed that the bird wanted the attention. She gave the bird the attention, then the problem went away. So you observe, and then we say formulate a hypothesis. Well, let's put that in simple terms. You take a guess. Does he want attention? Does he want attention? Oh, I start petting him, and look what happens. Instead of showing me the beak and all that, now he puts his head up against me. So in this case, we've taken a guess and turned it into a proof of the proof that our guess was correct. I start petting him, and his eyes close, and he puts his head up against me. So you actually watched, in that case, a functional assessment turning into an analysis, so a guess turning into the guess was right, and the behavior changed. Now, instead of a bird that's trying to chew everything up and looks unhappy, we have one that's happy. Doesn't usually happen that fast, but you saw the whole process there. So don't expect it to happen overnight, though. It generally doesn't. I'm still petting him, by the way. So what you do is you look at the situation and think, what kind of things can I do to change the situation? Now, I know with Cecil, if I took him out in the aviary, that would change the situation. Wouldn't it, Cecil? Because I've changed the environment, and out there he's more interested in playing and climbing into buckets and all that kind of stuff. But in here, he doesn't have as many things to drag his attention, so he focuses on me, don't you? Right?
Oh, what a cutie pie.
So at first, what I did was I let him play with that toy and kind of wear himself down. Then I took the toy away and waited to see his reaction. And then I approached him to give him petting, and now he's calm. And at what point do you stop doing these things? Never. You just learn to do it. It just becomes a way of life. You're not thinking about, oh, I'm making, I'm doing a functional this or that. You're just thinking, okay, now I have this behavior. What are the things he's trying to get out of that behavior he's doing? And then I look to alternates, things that are alternate. Sometimes it takes a long time. It took a long time with Sugar to get her to, she wasn't wearing a collar anymore. So we call that implementing interventions. There's a fancy word for just applying what we've learned and attempting. And you tie different interventions until you find one that works. And then when things stop working, you do it again. And then you do it again. If you do that, you'll always have a good relationship with your bird. You'll always work it out. So you monitor and adjust. If for some reason I didn't give him enough time with what he wanted to play with, then I give it back to him. Let him work it a little longer. That's called they have a fancy name for that too. It's called a motivating operation. You've got a dog that chases the cat you just brought home. Take the dog out and play ball with it until the dog is so tired it can barely move, and bring the dog in, and then let the cat in the room. The dog isn't going to get up. It's exhausted. It isn't going to get up. In this case, it was the same kind of thing. Give him something to work on for a bit, and then and work to get him where you can pet him and he feels good. And then you get what you get is good for you and good for him. Usually it's going to take longer than that. If you think it's going to happen instantly, you'll have that crow back from the Game of Thrones. No, 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 isn't gonna happen quickly. I've been working with Cecil for a long time, and his best friend died. And when Sugar died, he's never been the same.
Sugar?
Not
Sugar
sugar.
didn't die.
I said Sugar. Peaches, I'm sorry. Can't talk. Peaches, when Peaches died. His cage was always next to Peaches. He's technically mated to Lorelei, but Peaches was his best friend, and he's just not been happy since she passed away.
Yeah, everybody misses Peaches.
She was a special
Yes.
birdie.
And I
Especially
think
this one.
Bob misses her a lot as well.
Yeah.
She was a good influence on him.
Yeah, most other birds can't influence him too much. But she did. She kept everything calm. So you're going to monitor whatever solution you come up with and adjust it as it goes along. So if he wasn't calming down as he is right now and being happy being petted, and I would give him that toy or something else that isn't a toy, but if that's what he wants, give it to him until he worn himself down again. Again, that's a motivating operation. Anytime you're doing something that gets the bird involved, uh, gets their brain on something else, wears them out, or diverts their attention, they're doing a motivating operation. So keep adjusting. And if you keep notes, you'll be able to do it. Trying to remember what you've tried before. When you're working with as many birds as I do, I have to do things in my head. I don't have a choice. But you write it down, it'll help. And if you take video, it'll truly help. Especially when you've got something like screaming or biting, video is the way to go. Or if you have a bird that it just is starting to become apathetic, doesn't seem to be happy, you put it back in the cage and it just sits there, you might want to start videoing what's going on. He does not feel good when he goes back in. He used to play a lot in this cage. Now he just sits on a toy, and that's the mating season. But so I try to find other toys that will interest him. Right now, I gotta buy some more too. Finger traps. He tore off all the finger traps off the big toy I made him. It's about 2 feet long with wood all over it. Lots of different things that he tore. Then once that was done, he broke the ring at the top and dropped the toy to the bottom of the cage. Fix it. Put some more finger traps on it, which I did. I don't know that's why he did it, but he obviously was done with the toy when he tried to knock it to the bottom of his cage. My baby. What are you doing over there? So I'm still petting him. If you want instant rewards and you want to make this work without having to do all this observation and planning and testing, and you just want instant rewards, go to a casino. But I suggest you don't take your credit cards with you because you'll be broke. Chances of a big win pretty small. With these guys, the science works. So I know that I think it was, I don't remember what country, I think it was in Sweden, but I could be wrong. One of those Nordic countries anyway. No, it was Norway.
I just
was
was about to tell it.
What? What?
No, that's fine.
There was a researcher who taught flies using these basic principles. He taught flies to go to the right when the red light was on and go to the left when the green light was on. And you don't have a lot of time with flies. They don't live very long. So that video is out there somewhere on the web. I remember watching it. is just showing how you can teach anyone using the basic principles of ABA, even flies. Oh, you want me to pet you some more? Okay. All right. All right. That what you want? Be petted? Is that it? Pet, pet, pet.
He's so
I
sweet.
know it's what he wanted because of his reaction to it. Because I had stopped petting him, and then he put his head up and opened his beak, and I come over and start petting him, and he stops. All right, see, so you're just having a tough time today, aren't you, babe? When Mander's just sitting there relaxing, and Lucy's just sitting relaxing, and Sugar is preening, KK is digging. I'm still petting him, by the way. Petting his neck, and then someone's starting to wake up. She's realizing it's getting close to that time. The Jazzy Jazzbird. Yeah, you see some. Yeah, his current situation is not good. He's just when he's in his cage, he's just not happy. And he'll sit there like a bump on a log, but he's sitting on. He has this little rain toy, it's like a rain stick made of plastic, and he sits on that thing like he's sitting on an egg. Don't you, boy? Mm.
Hmm. Poor Cecil. Tough times
So,
for little Cecils.
so I do what I can to try to make him feel better. Get toys in there that might drag his attention more than the ones that he sits on.
Hmm.
Take him out whenever I can. If I'm doing something in the kitchen, I try to take him out a little more. But I have 12 birds I have to do things like that with. So Bob has to get out. Cause has to get out. Pippa. They're all ones that have issues. Pippa will go after particular birds. Bob does that. Cause they have doesn't even matter what bird he is with Cause. But she's happy with just coming out with me on sitting on the computer doing technical work or kind of thing. I believe it. What are you saying up there? You're
Is
trying to
Sugar
get my
tinkling,
attention. She was crying.
whining?
I want to, yeah,
Sugar's wine
whining.
bar has opened.
Yeah.
It's 5
Sugar.
o'clock somewhere, so let's open Sugar's wine bar.
I know what you want. I know, but right now I have to pet Cecil and I have to hold his phone, so I know. If I stop petting him, he'll get aggressive again. Just want to be petted, don't you, buddy boy? Sugar bird. Sugar the bird.
Mm,
I
there she
would love to
comes.
pet you. I would love to pet you, but I don't think it's my best bet right now. Well, poor Seesaw.
The mighty, mighty Shuk bird.
I could put Cecil up there. He might preen you.
Hmm.
I'm not sure how good he'd be at preening in this current move. Might. Might take offense at it too. What are you doing moving me around? I just want to be petted. He's all curled up down here getting petted on his neck. I know, sweetheart. I know. I can do it in a few minutes. Won't be long. Seems an eternity, doesn't it? Try to remember that behavior is based on what comes next. Okay. So when you get the idea that the bird is nipping, so I'm going to put it back in, I'm going to put the bird back in the cage. If that's what the bird wants, if that's what the bird's driving for, then you're making it worse. That's why you have to observe and figure it out. I know, sugar. I know, sugar. I will pet you in a minute or two, okay? When I don't have my other hand holding the phone, okay? And she's walking away now. She's unhappy, so how dare he not pet me when I ask? Whoops. Had to go, huh, kid? Yeah, if only we could do that, right? We have all these rituals to go to. I'm going to the bathroom. Some of our rooms in
Well,
the
I
US.
think that's better.
I don't like euphemisms. I like it in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. There's a line in there. Would you show her to the euphemism? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean the wording, more that the actual process of
Oh,
seeking privacy.
yeah. Well, you notice she walked away so she wouldn't hit me. She did that.
We appreciate
How
that,
considerate.
Shiggy.
So
Yeah,
if there's
we had
one thing
some.
from this, there's one thing from this long talk that you need to stick. It needs to stick in your head is a behavior is is based on what comes next. Because that's the thing that most people get wrong. The bird has just started biting. No, it hasn't. Somewhere along the line, it has realized that by doing a certain behavior, it will get a certain reward or consequence. And Cecil? No. Poor
Sweet people.
Cecil.
Let's
Poor
greet another
Cecil.
chatter who joined us. Buktiar Shah is here. Hello.
Hello. Well, we're sorry you joined right now because we're just about to
No,
close down. But
he's already here for a couple of minutes, but I
oh, good.
haven't
Okay.
interrupted you, so I just wanted to greet him.
I see. Look at that face. That is such a cute face. That is such a cute face. Oh, yeah. A cute face. It's hard to get you in the camera where you're coming, but here. Come on. Come on. Come on. There's that cute face. There's that cute face.
He's a sweetie pie, isn't he?
Cecil,
Yes,
we hope mating season is soon over.
yeah, he's definitely a candidate for a Laurelin implant, but we don't have a vet more than 4 hours away that can do that, or less than 4 hours away. It's a 10-hour trip to get to a vet that can do a Laurelin implant, so it's all got to be ABA, right, kid? Don't have any magic fairy dust. There's a lot of people out there saying that, I've got magic fairy dust. I can stop them from plucking by spraying this special solution that some company sells for $10. Yeah, has the effectiveness of water, but in fact, it is mostly water. We have to do things the other way. It's either veterinary medicine or ABA, right, big boy? I saw that tail flash, but I didn't catch it. Mander just did a big tail flash.
Oh, Mander. Sweet Mander boy. Hiding back there to not get into conflict with a certain KK, who still has not overcome the fact that there are pink birds in the world.
Yeah, he doesn't get it. Well, he can get within a foot and a half.
They are pink,
That's-
big, and strange.
Mhm. He might, you never know, he might be thinking, I'm not going to be like these other birds and be a slave to preening.
Mm, I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but he's a digging. Well, folks, thank you, Amy and Eleanor, for your assistance in moderating, and thank everyone for being here. And remember, if you want to reach us, we are on Telegram, Chloe Sanctuary. We're on
Discord,
Chloe Sanctuary, and Chloe Sanctuary
Patreon.
at Patreon. And we're not on Facebook or Instagram. That's what I have to say about that.
And thank you, Don, for the live stream, and thank you, Flock, for being good birdies and behaving yourselves.
Yeah, some of them for just digging it. So boy. Okay, folks, we're gonna get the flock out of here.
Yeah, have a good time.